The Taxpayers Appreciation Day was started in 2005 as a way of giving back to the taxpaying community and to show that government actually recognizes taxpayer efforts towards the development of their country.
URA felt it necessary to introduce an appreciation mechanism, and this we do it every year around the month of September. We work through our records and the background and identify those taxpayers across the country who have excelled, and we recognize them in different ways.
It's one way in which URA shows that it has a human character. It appreciates what the taxpayer has to go through to generate income, appreciates the fact that, after they've generated this income, they are willing to contribute to the development of their country.
It took the format of what one would call a high-end dinner, and probably in a lavish hotel, where we would invite our big taxpayers. At that time, mainly it used to be the big taxpayers who ordinarily would qualify on account of being those who have contributed the highest amounts of revenue. Over the years, we realized that we need to expand the way we identify our taxpayers. So we invite the big taxpayers at a dinner, eat, and then give out the awards. We started expanding it to the regions, where we go and reach out to the best taxpayers within the regions.
In the past 5 years, we have been unfolding new strategies. I remember there's when we had Omugano, a campaign dubbed Omugano. This was basically focusing on the small and medium enterprises, and omuntu wa bulijjo, the wananchi, who came to Nambole, and we had a very good taxpayer appreciation week.
The ministry had just introduced new presumptive tax rates. These presumptive rates were kind of designed to make tax payments easier for taxpayers that were operating below 5 million. So we actually went into the local communities and tried to raise awareness in those small businesses, restaurant owners, small retail shops, barber shops, that it's not complicated to comply.
That word Omugano is used to contextualize an opportunity where the saver sense, I don't know how to say it in English, but the white ants have been harvested, so to say. It means that the abundance of harvesting white ants on that day was so much that even an old woman was not left at all. The thinking then was that as you are through the teen campaign, which we are running, we are giving back gifts and awards to people, which was giving an opportunity for everybody to benefit. So if you registered for your teen during that campaign, you were a candidate to winning an award or a gift. And I remember at the time we gave out quite a number of awards, including motorcycles. The thinking behind that Mugano was that if everybody pays little, then nobody pays more. Concept of exhibiting, especially where we have our Taxpayers Appreciation Day, is upon the recognition that there are so many things that the public ought to know that happens within URA business that probably never gets to be known. The departments bring in the different products and services. Somebody may not know that URA, for example, the Department of Corporate Services in Human Resource, we are one of the biggest institutions that provides opportunity for university students to do their research and internship. And we receive and actually provide opportunities for internship for over 300 people in a given period. The public is interested in knowing, if I want to participate in the URA auction, how do I go about with it? The public needs to know that URA has a legal firm, which among other things actually, has an obligation to provide pro bono legal services. For transparency and accountability, it is important that the public is given an opportunity to see into the operations of URA.
We have been growing. We do not do taxpayer appreciation awards because we want to as Uganda Revenue Authority. We do them for the clients or for the taxpayers. So the taxpayers keep giving us feedback, and as they give us this feedback, we improve. You remember that in the past years we have had only the Taxpayer Appreciation Day, where we call upon the top taxpayers, and when we have dinner at Serena, and that did not augur well with most of the people that actually contribute to the coffers of this government. We had to review the strategy.
The strategy was start at the top and then slowly work downwards, okay? And for the past 10 years, that strategy has worked. And at this point in time, that is why you're seeing the strategy now getting diversified, because we feel now we have a critical mass of big taxpayers. And in fact, we have them being managed under the large taxpayers office right now. Now we want to bring the tax-paying message and the tax-paying culture to even the local, business owners, so that now wherever we are at, we are more tax compliant and, in essence, more willing to support the development of our country.
Initially, we were looking at the quantum. How much has each taxpayer contributed, and those that contributed the highest amounts in terms of domestic taxes and customs taxes would be awarded. But over time we realized that you could be bringing in the biggest check, but you are not entirely compliant. If we carried out an audit or an investigation, we could actually find that you are not paying everything you should be paying.
Have you filed? And filing your tax has some statutory dates that within which you're supposed to file. And if you filed, have you filed within the time within which you're supposed to file? That is filing compliance. After you've filed, first of all, have you filed the right amount of tax? Okay? If
you are an importer, you've never had any top-ups, you have never been investigated, you've never been involved in any form of smuggling, and then beyond that, we said let's look at the growth rates. So we changed the criteria, but we did not leave out the quantum. We still look at the quantum. So if you are paying reasonable tax in terms of the quantity, you are also very compliant, you are also growing at a very high rate, then we award you.
The criteria of the awards is never standard, depending on the strategic direction of the organization, okay? Every year, URA determines which sectors or which areas it wants to focus on. For example, in 2017, our strategic focus was government agencies. So we brought them on board, we worked with them, and they were part of the entire appreciation campaign.
And as you know, we use your taxes, so we are very happy that you have allowed us to be with you.
In years before, referring to the Mugano, the Taxpayers Appreciation Awards in that year took to rewarding people within general trade, like small importers and stuff like that. So it depends on the strategic direction of the organization, and the awarding criteria keeps changing according to that.
Taxpayer Appreciation Day Awards are awards we give to our most compliant taxpayers. One is what we call the Excel Award.
The Excel Award recognizes a taxpayer with significant revenue contribution to the government coffers. The winner of the Excel Award is Kinyara Sugar Limited.
This Excel Award is given to non-individuals. It's based on compliance, it's based on growth rates, it's based on the quantum, but largely for the big taxpayers. And the top two are given an award. Then we don't mix the big boys with those who are not yet very big, so we have another category which we call Vantage. So the Vantage Awards are given to both individuals and non-individuals, and the criteria is the same. We look at compliance, we look at growth, we also look at the quantum. And we tend to base on regions.
In the vibrant commercial and administrative town of Gulu in northern Uganda is a sole proprietor named Vashist Kulbushan.
Our jurisdiction as URA is for the whole nation, so we look at eastern region, northern region, western region, and central region. And then the best taxpayers within those regions are appreciated under the Vantage Award.
Even the taxpayers within the regions can also come up, and in coming up, they can also inspire the audiences that surround them, that, you know, even me, a taxpayer in Jinja or a taxpayer in Arua, I'm visible, I'm seen by URA, and I'm appreciated for my effort.
So then the last category is what we call the CG's Award. We are looking at our stakeholders, our partners, government entities, and professional bodies that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. And we look at the one that has impacted on our business strongly or more positively compared to the rest in a year, and we award that one with the CG's Award.
The second recipient of the Commissioner General's Award is the Office of the Prime Minister.
This award, whereas there's a committee back end that suggests quite a number of people depending on the URA business and how various stakeholders have come in to support the URA business, she is the ultimate decision maker on this award. Normally when she makes that decision, we never question it because it is according to her experience with this partner or individual.
You know, what I am sure of is that some big companies that have international shareholders, they are very happy when they are awarded. It means that the senior management of that entity is properly managing what we call the regulatory compliance risks, for being compliant, for making a very big contribution to the development of the country where you are a player. That is very good. It can even affect the share price. It makes you feel good that somebody is appreciating, because writing a tax check is never easy. So, and you can notice the behavior after we have awarded. You see some pictures in the newspapers with these awards. So why do you think the companies do that?
Even when we collect, we evaluate and see who has done very well, and we go back and appreciate them. That has helped us to improve voluntary compliance. But also when we do the monitoring and evaluation of the taxpayers that we have been able to appreciate, we've seen them tremendously improve and do tremendous things after being appreciated.
In the year 2017, we had to come up with a new campaign under the theme, Appreciating Uganda's Taxpayer, the nexus between public accountability and tax compliance. Whereas
Taxpayers were paying taxes, very many people didn't know what their taxes were doing, and therefore our collection teams were meeting a lot of resistance because they could not answer the big question of what does my money do.
We wanted to bring together ministries, departments, and agencies who are the main spenders of this tax to come and showcase and exhibit to the taxpayers that this is where your money is going. The last financial year, we called all MDAs who came together at Kololo for the 12th Taxpayer Appreciation Week, and we spent 4 days there.
We needed to design a new Taxpayers Appreciation Week, which would give an opportunity for every Ugandan to be appreciated. We wanted to demonstrate to the public how, if we demonstrate accountability as government institutions, ministries and departments, how that influences tax compliance. Because If you're a taxpayer and you pay your tax and you see the road made, certainly you'll be more encouraged to pay your taxes more. We also wanted to increase the public's awareness of what is going on in the government, the projects that government is doing, where are they? But we also wanted to give an opportunity to a government program called BUBU, Buy Uganda, Build Uganda. Our view as URA was that this is an initiative which largely empowers ordinary Ugandans, the locals, to produce something and then it gets visibility on the market because it employs our people. In fact, they were exhibiting free of charge. We invited some service providers whom we partnered with, like hospitals, which are exhibiting the services, providing the services to the public. But we also invited some of our taxpayers whom we profiled on account of compliance. We invited over 200 taxpayers, and these were given free space to exhibit. We didn't charge them any money. So we had to work within government and said, what can we provide as government? We may not provide cash. So we organized and mobilized government ministries and departments with the services that the public can consume. So we wanted to make sure that the public can get an opportunity from the taxes that they pay to get free services. So we had free eye checkup. By the way, there are free glasses on site. We had the free dental checkup and treatment. We had free HIV/AIDS testing. We had the blood donation side. We had free yellow fever. For once, yellow fever card is mandatory for everybody living in the country, and it has been very expensive. So we had to work with Minister of Health and National Medical Stores to make sure that they can provide this yellow fever vaccination at no cost.
Ministry of Health. I don't think URA will ever be able to thank Ministry of Health enough for their partnership and for the corporate social responsibility offer that they gave. Because if anything went well at that Taxpayers Appreciation Day, it was that offer that they gave us for that D-Day. They were the first people on site preparing for these really huge audiences. They were also the very, very last people to leave on all the days that were there. We received about 45,000 people within the 3 days, and which means that we did a CSR of about 4.5 billion.
That's when you would then see that, oh, actually, this entity is there, it is working on roads, the UPDF is there, it is doing so much, Uganda Police is there, it's doing so much, Morago Hospital is there, it's immunizing our people.
There were also free business advisory services on site provided by our URA officers and as well as people from Ministry, I think Uganda Registration Services Bureau. Some of the things we got, for example, we had entertainment, which were provided by the Bande Police Band, the UPDF Band, and the Prisons Band. Those bands played for 3 days, entertaining the public at no cost. Remember, we wanted to hear from the public. So every day, we invited some of the top accounting officers, the permanent secretaries, the CEOs, on different topical issues that affect society. We had the PS from Minister of Education, PS from the Minister of Health, PS from Minister of Agriculture, in making sure that these critical sectors which affect all of us, we can hear from them. And those public debates were very, very well attended to, and I really want to thank the public for paying attention to those events. And of course, the week climaxed into the grand dinner that we had, where we had to appreciate the best taxpayers.
It's one of the best events that we have had in the country. We had over 80,000 people turn up to Kololo. And mainly for me, what is very important is the giving back to community. It was very, very important because that's our philosophy as Uganda Revenue Authority, to give back to the taxpayers.
We achieved more than what we had wanted for the Taxpayers Appreciation Week 2017.
This, I believe, has portrayed to the public, who are always asking us, what do our taxes do? I believe that in the last 3 days, you have become converted, that indeed your taxes that you pay do a lot of good. It is important for us to keep demonstrating the various government roles and activities to enable the public continuously appreciate what government does, and in the way in that way support the compliance drive.
We need to do some kind of outreach programs to reach out to the communities to ease access to these services and maybe increase uptake for the services that we provide. I felt that's what I picked as a lesson from that, the numbers that came. In 2018, we would like to see that, first of all, we have more government ministries and departments involved, because we have over 100 ministries, departments, and agencies. But also, we would like to increase the number of days. We had 3 days of the exhibition. Probably this time we want to have a full week.
We wanted to make sure that this continues not only in the center, but also in the regions. And I think listening to the GCOP forum, we must have touched a heart, because that is the same message that they have come with. We are here, ladies and gentlemen, to account to the public for the taxes they collected. But we are not just accounting, we are saying thank you for the taxes that you pay.